考定之道，皆英语之事，大学习之宜，皆文化之国。接受 Q&A， 嘉盛家长会。
Hello everyone, this is Just English Q&A. I'm Susan. You're watching the first WeMedia program about English and English study. Well, in last program we talked about what English is. I gave you a metaphor. English is the house of bricks and cement you must build up. And also I mentioned 4 important elements. And I think you must have understood why A is not the right answer. Vocabulary is not the most important thing in English study. Well, today we're going to come to 2 grammatical rules. A lot of people have asked me, hey Susan, I've learned English for many years and I've got high scores in all kinds of exams. But when it comes to speaking, I just can't make a really fluent sentence or a correct sentence. And a lot of parents have asked me that, does my boy understand it? Well, yes, of course, he has learned grammar for such a long time, but why can't he just, get the problems right? Well, the thing is, there are 2 reasons behind this. One is that you haven't got enough times of exercise. You haven't got enough exercises to do. But by exercise, I do not mean the multiple choices. I mean the actual speaking and writing. Okay? It's or in other words, it's how many times you have make a sentence or do actual communication. Well, you know what? This is not the ultimate reason. Behind this, there's still a very important reason. It has something to do with Chinglish. It's the way you think. Chinglish results from grammatically erroneous usage of English, often resulting from the writer thinking in Chinese while writing in English. The correct sentence Zach should have written is, he likes reading books very much. You see here, the third person singular of a verb, functions of a gerund, plural nouns, and V-adverb principles are just some simple grammatical rules that have been torturing Chinese students all these years. Why? Well, the reason is simple, because in Chinese, we don't have them, okay? But what should we do? Should we encourage our children to do more multiple choices? The thing is, not. Today, I'm going to tell you the ultimate reason. That is, you have done too much literal translation for your children, okay? A lot of parents like to check their students by asking, hey, what is an apple? 苹果. Okay, now the kid knows it. But the truth is, you have been forcing your child to think through translation, and this will harm them in the future. But actually, you should really trust our babies, You should trust our babies that they can be equipped with 2 parallel systems. For example, my cousin who was born in New Zealand, he is able to speak to me in English, and when he switches to his grandma, he's able to use Chinese with very strong northeastern accent. So Zach's mother should have encouraged him to do more reading and self-expression. You know what? In this way, he's able to get familiar with the English syntax. For example, all the students I've taught, as you can see in all those live shows, are able to speak English with complete sentence. By complete sentences, I mean there is a subject, a verb, and sometimes a verb or phrases. And how are they able to do that? Remember, they're only 3 to 5 years old. In every class, I encourage them to answer my questions with complete sentences. Like, I want to be number 1, I want this one, I want the red one, and thank you very much, all those kind of things. So you can imagine after 2 years, how many sentences have they said? So, only in this way, they're able to get familiar with the English syntax. And then you can imagine in the future, those third-person singular and all those grammatical rules will not be a problem for them. You don't have to tell them, hey, put in the morning at the end of the sentence. Or, hey, don't forget to use did when we're talking about the past. Everything will just be as easy as they can think, okay? Because they have known how to think in English. And always, please remember, English and Chinese has very little in common. They have very little in common. So please stop urging our child to do literal translation before they're unable to translate a word like against, or there's no difference but difference of degree between different degrees of difference and no difference. Alright? Have you understood why grammatical rules are not the important thing? First, it is easy. Second, it needs more practice. And third, please do not encourage them to think in Chinese while speaking in English. Do not do literal translation. Alright, so that'll be all for today. And in our next program, I'm going to talk about the third and the fourth elements. So, to learn more detailed information, welcome back to the Just Row English Q&A.
到此一重千里目，谁知才上一层楼。